Okay, and welcome to the second part of our training for the combination brow. So as you know, we've already created a powdered ombre brow, which leaves that front corner very light. This gives us the ability to use what we know about creating hair strokes with our #1 needle in a brow. This way we can add hair strokes to the lighter part of this brow here, creating the combination brow. Now, you can do the hair stroke part of it first and then powder in the some dimension and some powder, or you can do the powder brow part first and leave open the ombre part of it, softer and lighter, and you can do the hair strokes in that. Where you put the hair strokes is going to be up to you. Your that's your right as the artist. It's your design. Sometimes I like to have a darker incline along the bottom as well as in the tail of in the arch. And I like to leave the upper part of it a little bit softer and not have such a hard formed edge on it. And so as I go along, we're going to do a couple of these passes because now again, you don't want your hair strokes to heal too dark or darker than the powder. You literally want it to just kind of blend in to, the rest of the hair that they have. So you may not need to do hair strokes through the whole body of it. Sometimes just the front part of it is just enough. Oftentimes people will have the fronts of their brows missing for various reasons, such as thyroid issues or just over plucking in general. So a lot of times it's their front part of the bulb of their brow that's underdeveloped. So that's going to be your most important part. The body of this tattoo will largely depend on, and your attention to it will largely depend on what the client's eyebrow presents. Oftentimes they will have patchy brows, um, missing in just spots, or maybe even a scar through the brow. This is going to be the kind of treatment or the kind of technique that will get some color into that scar the best, allowing it to stay and retain better and for longer. And here you can both hear and see the speed at which we're implanting the pixelated powdery dots, and you can kind of hear the vibration, so you can gather how much pressure we're using to implant this. And you know that you're going to be implanting because you can see the little dots that form as you're doing it. So you can see how intense or how saturated you're developing an area. if you remember our numbered hair strokes, and you remember how we start from 4, 3, 2, 1 moving forward, you can almost see that where at the number 4 hair stroke is about where I like to behind that stroke make it a little bit darker, and those other hairs in front of it, 3, 2, and 1, that's usually around the area that I like to keep open and fluffy and a little bit airy. And this is just another pass after we've cleaned it off. I find that using the green soap mixture with a little bit of water really helps to clear away the pigments, the smeared pigments, so that you can really see what you're working with in your strokes there. And once you kind of smear it all around with the green soap, then I'll get one of those wet wipes or water wipes, and that usually helps to clear off the rest of it. And here I'm just going to take a moment to crisp the strokes, going exactly right over the exact thin little hair. If you go a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, then the hair stroke begins to look thicker and fatter and not as delicate. So you really have to have great eyesight and control, and you need to aim, very precisely your needle so that you don't make thick, fat hair strokes. Being thin and delicate is the key here. So now that I have the hair strokes and I reinforce them with some extra passes over each one of them, now I'm going to continue to build up the body of the brow. So basically, at this point, you keep building until you have developed a saturation and a consistency that you feel like it suits the client best. So that's going to change from person to person. And you can even, change out the colors, light, warm, soft color along the top, darker in the tail and the base. But basically, every time you wipe the brow clean, you'll get to assess the situation and see where you'll need to add either color or dots, or if you need to add more hair strokes in any one particular place. As an artist, you get full license to do that. Here's where we are so far in our combination brow. And so probably I would continue to do some hair strokes along the bottom, and within the body of it, just have it flow a little bit more. And then it will be done, and then it will heal very nicely. Here's some other demonstrations of this combination brow on live models, directly right after the treatment. Here you can see she had none, and we did a hair stroke and powder. You can see you really have a lot of creativity and flexibility to do a beautiful natural shape as well as size. Don't forget to make your brow menu using all the methods that we know already: your hair stroke, powder brow, combination, and ombre.